Where can I just buy the course or whatever so I can watch all that and get it all down?
Is he a plant?
Everything?
Yeah,
Sir,
I
are you
know.
a plant?
I want to now bring up Lauren Tickner, if you would be so kind to come up. She has come in all the way from Dubai to share with you what we have decided to call the Rapid Course Creation and Engagement, or RACE program. We've renamed that for you. But she's going to talk about how you can create courses faster and get them in front of more people.
How to launch a profitable impact offer. So this is the new method of online courses. What is the outcome that you take people or businesses to? So it could be that you're going to help them reverse type 2 diabetes. Perhaps it's that they're going to find their ideal partner online, or perhaps get a multi-million-dollar government contract. These are all things that our clients do, and they're able to scale at a high-ticket price point online because of the fact that they're using the impact offer. And in a moment, I'm going to make it clear why this method is going to be more beneficial than just selling the 997 course that everyone typically does, right? Maybe you might think that, okay, I can build a course about the mindset that I've used to become a successful entrepreneur. But frankly, mindset is something that everybody needs help with. And so if you know that that's something that you want to be talking about, just think, okay, how can I actually weave that into my program without making it everything? The only exception really is if you have a highly, highly sophisticated audience. Perhaps you're consulting with multi-millionaires who are already very much aware that mindset is an important piece to everything that they're doing. The other thing is a skill. So if you teach people how to knit, for example, that's the method, which we'll be talking about in a bit, and not the outcome. And simultaneously, something which I see a lot of people doing when they're creating an online course is they'll talk about, like, you have 40 hours of content that you're going to be getting in my online course. Frankly, people don't really care about that. They're not really why people buy. Someone wants to buy because they want the outcome rather than all of these individual things. I mean, we've had it in the past where we've heard our clients talking about all that, and then people don't buy it because it just sounds like it's all too much effort. So you want to make it more tangible, the outcome, so that people are very, very clear, okay, this person is the person who is going to guide me to the outcome as rapidly as possible. I'm not going to have to spend a bunch of time on that. As you've probably heard before, always attach your outcome to improving their health, wealth, or relationships. Just using my knitting example from before, the learning how to knit could be turned into eradicate your anxiety through knitting, or make 6 figures online through selling knitting on Etsy. It's really just making sure that you take that skill and turn it into a compelling outcome. The next thing is really your methodology. So everyone here has a knowledge and an area of expertise that you're already amazing at. That's why you're here, right? That's why you're already a successful entrepreneur. So what is that method? And then how could you actually turn that into a program? That's essentially going to be the thing which guides people towards the outcome. When you put emphasis on your method, it really becomes something that you're going to be able to use to attract the clients who are already in the market to try and get results. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say there's someone who is already doing endless hours of cardio. They've tried the ketogenic diet. They've tried tracking macros. But now you've discovered intuitive eating, right? That sounds like a shiny new way in which they can get the result. And because they're someone who's already trying all this other stuff, they're likely already spending money, which means that they're much, much easier to sell to, which is why you want to be able to go after these people using your unique methodology that you're probably already using with the clients that you have in your business right now. But this is just going to be a more scalable model. When I was a fitness coach, I called mine Strength Feed, right? Everyone then wanted to come to me for the Strength Feed method. They couldn't buy that anywhere else, but they saw the outcome that I was taking people to, and then that was how it became more compelling to them. And this is really the differentiator. So it's the action items that your ideal clients need to execute on in order to get to their big desired outcome. So with regards to your action plans, you always want to start with the end in mind. So this is the big outcome. Then you can basically map out where the client is now. Then they'll go to one mini outcome, another mini outcome, another mini outcome, so on and so forth. And then that is what dictates the impact offer, the program that you're going to be building. Because you'll see, in order for them to actually, accomplish each mini outcome, they need to have some type of action item. And this is really the differentiator between a lot of online courses, whereby perhaps they'll get a load of content, they'll go through the content, but how do you actually know that they're doing it? Well, if you want a course that you can charge a much higher ticket price point for, maybe like 5K, 10K, 25K, even 50K, then having these mini action items whereby the client goes ahead, they execute on it, then they submit it into you and your team for review, then you're able to give them feedback in a way that leverages your time. So the biggest mistake that I see is people creating a curriculum. So I'm sure, who has thought of creating an online course? Like, if you have, and I bet the first thing that you did is like, okay, what can my curriculum be? We've all been there, right? If you've thought about an online course. And frankly, that is a huge, huge mistake. Because if you look at a curriculum versus focusing your program around action items, Matt Andrews likes this, but I always say, would you rather have your tooth pulled out for 2 seconds or for 2 hours? Right? People want the result fast. They wanted it yesterday. That's why they're willing to pay you a lot of money to solve their problems, right? So the curriculum versus action items, it's really that you're focusing on being very outcome oriented rather than content focused, which means that when you come to create your program and your course, you are going to put the stuff in there that the clients really need, which means they're going to get better results, which means you get better testimonials, more referrals, everything snowballs. Simultaneously, it means that you're going to get active clients rather than clients who are a little more passive. They just want to kick back. Maybe they're going to put your videos on 2 times speed so they can just watch it, right? I've done that when I've been in courses before where they're not marking my work because I just want to get through it and learn it all. You don't want to give them as much content as possible, as little as possible to get them to the outcome. That is the best way to serve your clients. And that avoids overwhelm. You don't want to overwhelm your clients. You want people to feel like they're having mini wins at every point along the way, because then they keep up that momentum. And remember, oftentimes when you're creating your course, your program, the stuff that you feel is very, very simple is actually very complicated to your clients. And that little thing could totally change their life. It could be one small little action item. And then again, it's actually getting results versus just completing exercises that you don't know if they even go ahead and do. The combination of all of your action plans, that becomes the program that allows your clients to get the result. So it's action items, and then if you reverse engineer the process, that becomes the course. But then once you've identified the mini outcomes, that's going to allow the client to achieve those action items, well, then from there, you know exactly what content you need to put into your program. So you start with the action item, right? That is the thing that's going to allow them to achieve that mini outcome. And then for them to actually do the action item, that is how you know what videos and what PDFs to put in there. So you're doing it kind of the other way around. Rather than creating the content and then thinking, okay, here's what they can do, you think, here's what they can do, and here's what they need to get there. And then that means that everything is going to be focused, and you're going to be able to save so much time. So this content here is what makes up the course component of your impact offer. All right, and so then from there, as I already said, less is more. You also have consulting in your impact offer, which is the personalized feedback on the action items. So again, once they've been through their trainings and they understand what their plan of action is, they're going to go ahead and do it. And then once they've done that, they'll submit it to you so that you and your team can review it. So we actually have a video showing how to keep track of that, but it probably won't be able to play on here. So essentially, what it basically shows is like there's a checklist of all of the action items within the program. And then we've set it up so that when our client goes ahead and executes, then they will essentially submit what they've done. So let's do a really simple example. Let's say we were telling them to go ahead and optimize their LinkedIn. So what they would then do is perhaps they take a link, the link of their LinkedIn bio, and then they basically paste that into us. That then alerts my team. So you can set it up so that it would automate and pull into Slack. You can use Zapier to do that if you want. So what your team can do, they click the link, they then perhaps record like a Loom video or something, and then they can say the things that can change on it to make it better for their LinkedIn profile. Like, okay, you need to change your profile picture to be something a bit more whatever. Once they've done that, they can then submit it back to the client so that the client gets faster feedback. So this means that you don't have to get on a bunch of calls, and it means that, you're able to give them more targeted feedback. Because sometimes if your team are finding themselves on a lot of calls with clients who are in a course, you may get on a call for an hour when really it needed to be 2 minutes. And then if they still have help that they need, then of course, then they can book a call. And I would advise to have, essentially unlimited access to coaching, because oftentimes clients need that when they're going through a transformation like this. Just in the back of their mind, they're like, okay, I have unlimited, but 2% of clients will actually make the most of that. There's those 2% who always get on a bajillion calls with your team, but the fact that you're giving it to them, it makes up for it. People love it. So you may be wondering, how do I deliver the action plans? So essentially, the first time round that you launch your online course, you don't need to have the whole thing built out. Just know what the outcome is, know what the mini outcomes inside of the program need to be, and then have an understanding of what each of the different action items are going to be. Then you can get 5 to 20 beta testers, put them through to validate the offer, because frankly, let's just say, you're delivering it live on a Zoom call once a week or twice a week, an hour or two, whatever, how long it takes. Well, what you can then do is that you deliver the content, you tell them what the action item is, but let's say they have 20 bajillion questions that are going so nitty gritty, then it's very, very clear that the way that you delivered it wasn't optimal, right? Because you don't want to build out an entire program that is super complicated, way, way more than they possibly need, and then have all of that content just have to go get deleted, right? So you deliver it live, you get the feedback, and then based upon the feedback, then you can implement that feedback and then essentially make it an evergreen program. Yeah, that means that your clients can get the fastest results possible. And again, you won't know how good or bad your content is until you get that live feedback from those clients. After you've had your test pilots go through your course, you're going to have more clarity on what you need to change up. Your action items dictate the resources that you'll provide your clients with. You don't know if these resources are accurate until people have tried to actually execute with the information that you've given them. After you have validated your offer, we use a custom software to deliver customizable action plans to clients. And then you'll have an online portal to deliver the videos and the PDF. So yeah, please be aware that you need to realize that even after you've launched it for the first time, you want to have that continuous feedback from clients. So we're always changing up our content inside of our program based upon how our clients are doing. It just allows you to make sure that you're staying on top of everything, but you can have someone on your team do this, or even hire a client success director. I mean, that's what I would definitely advise if you have a good number of clients coming through, so that then they can just always be on top of it, always updating things, and always making sure that all clients are staying on track. And again, how much content should I provide? A general rule is just as little as necessary to get your clients the result. Just remember that giving your clients the strategy isn't enough. Clients also need emotional support. And so how can that emotional support be delivered? So you can have a group community. You can do group coaching calls on Zoom, for example, as well as that, a Facebook group, simultaneously one-to-one support. So this can be where they submit their work in for a review, and you send Loom videos to give them that feedback. Really, it just comes down to, if you're having people come into a course and you want them to just go through video trainings, nowadays, just because of the fact that the barrier to entry is very, very low, and a lot more people have realized how accessible it is to create online courses and scale with online courses. Nowadays, you need to be doing these things in order to stand out, particularly the action items and the actual reviewing of the work, just like if they were at school.
I just want you to acknowledge that you're giving Wesley a microphone. I love you, Wesley.
I was going to do a joke, but forget it. No, question is, where can I just buy the course or whatever so I can watch all that and get it all down?
Is he a plant?
Everything?
Yeah,
Sir,
I know.
Are you a plant?
Okay.
Front row as well. Wow.
No, I'm really serious, because I think I'm hopefully it's not too expensive. I'll buy it right now. And then the second thing is, I would love to see like a sales page that you're using, how you are, because where I'm running into the struggle is how to explain all that stuff, but on a sales page so that it doesn't sound overwhelming. I would love to see an example or if you would share one privately, or if you don't want to share with them, that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, I mean, no, that's a great question. So when it comes to selling programs like this, having it all on a sales page, we actually will have them come into like a free challenge. That's been the best conversion for us. So they'll come in through a free challenge, and then we'll get them on a sales call. So really, you're going to want to make sure that for something like this, you're selling it on a sales call as well. Not just because it's easier to sell through a sales team, but also because you don't want to sign every single client, right? Because some clients will be a pain in the butt to work with. And so if you're just selling it on a sales page, because of the intimacy and the availability of yourself and your team for coaching, if you're signing up everyone, then you're going to end up having some pain in the ass.
Yeah, no, I
clients,
agree. I
right?
totally agree with that. So maybe I'll like steal you later and have you look at my page.
Yeah,
so
so
you can-
look, I mean, I would say a free challenge works really well. We found that a 3-day challenge, that's the best. So we'll have essentially a landing page, which is a free challenge, right? And with just so many testimonials, so many.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sign up. On the second page is a $47 VIP upgrade. And then after that, if they don't take that, then they'll just go to a thank you page where they can go to their portal. And then if they do take it, it's the same thing, a thank you page. And then in the portal, we have a link. If you want to become a client, click here to book your call. And on the free challenge, we don't even really pitch per se. We just kind of casually say, like, if you're interested in becoming a client, then just book a call with us. We haven't tested being more pushy, but at the very beginning of the challenge, we literally say, guys, you can let your guard down right now. We're not selling anything.
Okay.
That's
and
kind
how
of what
much
we
is
do
your
that.
course?
If, like Wesley, you are interested in seeing how Impact School can help you, there is a link to book a free strategy session below this video. So go ahead, click that link, book a call right now, and I look forward to seeing how we can support you.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is that, it really forces you to actually focus. So my background, as I mentioned briefly, was in the fitness industry. And so I'll always go over to people and say, oh, so what do you do? Like, I'll meet a trainer or something. And they're like, oh, well, I can help people gain muscle or lose weight or do fasting. And it's like, if you really focus on one outcome, it also allows all of your marketing to be so clear because everything is around that particular outcome. Not only that, but the reason why this works so well is because it allows your team to follow SOPs, right? So it's very clear on week 1, phase 1, they don't pass through into the next phase unless they've gone ahead and already ticked off the box when it comes to whatever their action item was. And your team knows clearly what to do, which means that you can hire people and bring them on pretty rapidly as coaches.
Awesome. All right, awkward clap. Thank you so much.
Thank you.